So today it is January the 16th. It is a Wednesday, and I'm starting with recording the math workshop just so you can kind of see it. On math workshop, what it is every day they're assigned to work on a couple of these. These two are Monday. These two are Tuesday. And then now today we're working on 5 and 6. We talk about the answers. Then on Thursday or Friday, I collect them and grade them. Math workshop, you should pretty much have almost a perfect score. So last week, I didn't go over the last two, but we had done it before. So I really need you to pay attention. Okay, so number 5, here we go. Basically in all these words, okay, it is saying that this person has 2 classes to study for, science and math. He has a total of 75 minutes that he can study in. I need you to think about it. If you can study, let's say you need 30 minutes for math, how long do you have left for science? 45. So you take 30 and you take 45 and you do what with them? Add them together. So that's all it is. I know it looks weird that they've got all these X's and Y's, but it's kind of like math plus science equals 75. That's really not that bad. It's D. You're just adding them together to get that number. Okay. On number 6, this one is a little more odd. I can't lie. I start out picking it apart like this. It says the sum of 5 and a number. Sum meaning add. So 5 plus a number. Now it could be 5 plus an X, 5 plus a Y. Doesn't matter. We just don't know the number. And then it says right here, the product of 2.3. Multiply of a 2.3. So you kind of got to put it all together now. You got this multiply of 2.3. You got this 5 plus X or X plus 5. Okay, so I want to ask you, looking at A, because of order of operations, what would you do first looking at A?
The 2.3
times 5. And is that what we're wanting right here? Are we wanting to multiply 2.3 times 5 and then add a number? No. Let's look at this one. We want to put what together? 5 and a number, right? 5 plus P? And then we want to multiply times 2.3. So because of order of operations, just because of a goofy pair of parentheses, it is B instead of A. Because you got to do this first, and then you would multiply times that. But it's weird. Think about it. You would have to do the math that is in the parentheses. So let's say there's a 7 there. You'd have to do 5 plus 7 and get that answer. Then times that. Yeah. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like you got to work it in a weird circle. Okay. Good. So it is B. Now, will you get out last night's odd shapes of composite figures? Now, okay, so we're on the Tuesday sheet. Okay, we're on the one that up here says Tuesday. Okay, way up here. Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through it. It's okay. Now, looking at Tuesday's sheet. Here we go, looking at Tuesday's. Okay, first, what we did, and I know I've got a few people who've been absent, so I'm just going to talk about it a second. We took the shapes, and they want to know the full area. But what we had to do is kind of break it apart so we could get some shapes to work with, okay? Such as with this one. This was a little square, so we did 20 times 20 and got 400, okay? But then we had to work with this triangle. And the triangle was the weirdest part. We had to do base all the way across. So it was 9 plus 20 plus 9. Give me 38. times the height of 30 divided by 2. Okay? So it's in the end, since we're putting those together to make one shape, that's why we're adding to get that final answer. Okay? Does that help a little bit? Okay, on number 2, any questions with 48? Uh-huh. On number 1 or 2? 2. Okay, so let me go back. Did you cut it like me with the square and the triangle? Okay, did you get 36? Okay, listen, if you got 60, all it is, when you did this math, when you did times 10, you're getting this whole wall. You're getting all the way to this corner. So you only want this much of it. You only want from here to here. So, but listen, 6 is right there. So if you were using 10, you were using that number. But the problem is that number goes from here to here. So you got to bring down the 4 and know that 6 plus 4 is 10 to get. Yeah, I wrote that in. Right here? Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So like, one second. And I've been kind of like trying to look back at the test and stuff. Basically, I kind of used my copies. Basically, you want to get these because the shapes are kind of like, I guess you'd say, I mean, there's 2 of them, okay? They look just like this, but you want to get this, okay? So what I did is this, and it's kind of easier if I draw it. I know it's kind of silly, but yes.
I didn't cut it in half on number 2, but I still have the same answer.
Did you do a trapezoid though?
Yeah.
That's fine. That is fine. Uh-huh.
I did the rectangle,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't do
Okay, so did you do the, like this and that with the triangle shape on the side?
I did the rectangle.
Like the big rectangle? Okay, now if you do the big rectangle, you're going to have to take away the little triangle. That's going to be the problem. So, like, look real quick. Okay, so taking this one, you would take, if you want to kind of make it 2 chunks, I would draw a line right here, and we know that one wall is this 6, okay? But I need this, like, I need to know this bottom wall. That's side 6, I need that bottom wall. So what I'm doing is, I got to think, that 10 is officially from here all the way to here. So I have to kind of look up and down and see if there's any other numbers I can work with. Well, up here, there's a 4. And that 4 stops about right there. So if that's 4, this side is 6 to make 10. So that's how I got that little 6 right there. Now I can just do 6 times 6, and I get 36. Because 6 plus 4 equals 10. It's that missing measurement. Okay. Now my triangle is base times height divided by 2. My base is 4, or you could even call it height. It doesn't matter which one, because it's 4 times 6, which is 24 divided by 2 is 12. And then add them together. Does that help a little bit? It's moving walls. That's the only thing I know how to call it. It's like sliding walls over. So like on number 3 here, I'm looking at how to cut this thing. To be honest, I would cut it right there. I would slide, honestly, I start with just this. What is 12 times 16? 192? Okay, I believe you, I just don't know off the top of my head. Okay, now, looking at the triangle. This is where you got to pull the wall over. I need a base, I need this line, and I need a height. Well, what is the base right here? 12. What is the height? 8. 12 times 8? 48 divided by 2. 20. Oh, wait a minute. 12 times 8. Oh, 12 times 8 is 96. Divide by 2 is 48. Woo! Y'all got me. We're all messed up. Okay. So then, putting those together is how I got 240. Now I get what we're doing. Okay. Going on. Number 4. 4 is honestly just like 3. Final answer is 125. If you got 150, you probably didn't divide by 2 on that triangle. Okay. Got to divide by 2 on all triangles. Number 5. I like number 5 because there's 3 different ways to do it, if you want to know the truth. I've been using the trapezoid, but if you did it a different way, here's one of them. And, Jackson, I know you were out, but, we talked about how, I see this thing as a trapezoid. So I see a base plus a base, so I added them together, and I did that as the height, do all the math, and I'm actually done with it because it's just one shape. But some kids don't like the trapezoid formula, so this is what we've done. We've kind of cut it right here, okay? And so we look, and this rectangle is an 18 by 9. Help me out, is it 162? Okay, and then the triangle is, trying to find that, is an 18 because of that number, but right here is the part that keeps getting some kids. 9, because if this is 9, this is 9, and so that has to be 9. Even if it's weirdly drawn, because to me they should be equal and they're not in that picture. So 9 times 18 divided by 2 is 81. And then putting it together, is it 243? Okay, I'm trying to do it 2 different ways. So, it doesn't matter in the end which way you do it, as long as, you're kind of getting the same answer. Does that make sense? So there's the trapezoid again. Okay. This one, if you got 48, you just forgot to divide the triangle by 2. Any questions on that one? Nope. Okay. And the last 3. Number 7 has been the interesting one also. 7 is 84. If you got 108 or something, so go back and look. Do you have 60 for this part? This is the weird part. It is a 6 for the height, but the base is what? 8. So look, this is 6, this is 1, and that is 1. So you got to add those 3 together and get 8. So from here to here is 8. 6. Yeah. So 6 times 8 is 48. Divide by 2 is 24.
Somehow I managed to think 1 plus 1 plus 6 was 7.
It happens, especially at the end of the day. Anybody else? Okay. Any questions on 8? Little box, triangle. And number 9, box and triangle. Mm-hmm.
So, I was typing the triangle in, and when I got the triangle, I got 36, but it said 7 instead of 75.
I'm not sure. Unless something was just like keyed in your calculator that rounded it or something. You know, like, because it seems like it'd be an 8 if they rounded it. I'm not sure. Like, I had 7 for the height times 10.5.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's weird. Because that would be 70 divided by 2 would be 30. Try it again. Just make sure. 10.5 times 7 divided by 2.
I got number 8. At first I got the right number for the triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Then I erased it and I did it again so that it would get the wrong answer.
You had the right answer first?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. I'm looking back. 7 times 10.5 times 7 is 73.5. Divided by 2, I got 36.75. You talking about for that triangle right there? Yeah. Did you get it? Okay. Could be anything. Like, when I'm doing these, especially for a test, I would type it in 2 or 3 times. What I would do tomorrow or on Friday, I would do the test, and then afterwards, go back and look, like, did I divide by 2 every triangle? Look at every shape that has a triangle. Make sure you divide it by 2. Take every trapezoid. Make sure you divide it by 2, and so on. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay. So what we're going to do is, we're going to do some missing shape, just practice. We're just practicing in class, okay? Later we'll do a homework thing, but that's later. Like right now, we're just practicing this. It's not hard because honestly, most of the measurements are really obvious, meaning they're just right there and you can see them, okay? Give me just 1 second. And it kind of all the same stuff. Sometimes we're taking middles out, sometimes we're putting them together. So just we did this the other day. We did a little bit of this. Nice. Good. Okay. So, just to kind of reiterate, when we were doing this worksheet yesterday, it's all the same thing. Obviously, it's all the area formulas. But for this worksheet, we are taking 2 shapes and putting them together. We added in the end. Okay, I'm waiting on you guys. Just stick it up back there. It's fine. Now, please stop now. So these shapes from yesterday, we were taking 2 shapes and adding in the end because we needed to put them together, okay? This, what we're doing today, it's officially called finding the area of the shaded region, meaning the darkened in part. We did this one day, but we only did like one of them. So we're kind of just touching it one more time. On these, you want to think of it as, what I keep saying is, let's find the outside area, and then if the inside is what is white, you want to kind of find that, but get rid of it. You want to throw it away. Okay, so starting out, let's do number 1. We're doing this together in class, so you should have everything I have. Here we go.
That's like the thing you gave me
You don't have one. Okay. Anybody else need it? Okay. Okay, so, starting out, the outside shape is a what? Rectangle. So, as soon as you know the shape, write the formula. Please stop talking. Let's do this. Here we go. So, a rectangle's base times height. The base is 12. The height is 5. So, for my pink rectangle, I get 60 centimeters squared. Please get 2 colors and be done with it. Because I'm already done with the first part and y'all haven't written it down. Now, so when I did the pink rectangle, you've got to imagine this. I did 12 times 5, which gave me all of this thing. That's kind of the weird part because I don't want the middle. I got to get rid of the middle. So, looking at the middle rectangle, it is a rectangle. It is an 8 by 3. So, I go over here. I do that formula. Same one. And for the green rectangle, I get 24 centimeters squared. So the key is if we're going to rip out that middle and throw it away, it is, what? 36. We're going to subtract. 60 minus 24 is 36 centimeters squared. Now, when doing this, you want to show all your work. So if you get the final number wrong, I can go back and hopefully only take off partial credit for something. Okay, yes?
So only if we're doing that little double square thing, like what we're doing now, we subtract it?
Yes. And the only reason is you want to get rid of this. Last night's homework, like these shapes, you're trying to put this triangle with that square. Like you're trying to put them together to make one area. So for these, I call it like getting rid of the middle. Kind of like a donut. Like get rid of the middle. Okay? Everybody get on the first one. Okay. Go into the second one. Here we go. The second one is the outside shape is the outside shape, triangle. So, first, you have to write the formula for a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. If you don't write the formulas, guys, it's going to be a lot of points off this test. Now, fill it in. On the triangle, you got to think. The base is from here to here. Yes, 14. It's all of that together. 5 plus 5 plus 4. Because you got to get from one end all the way to the other. So 5 plus 4 plus 5. So the base is 14. And the height is 10. There's the number. It's kind of off to the side. But it works because there's our point. Okay, now that is the triangle math. Oops, 1 second. There we go. Base times height divided by 2. You should have all this on your paper. Guys, I'm not kidding. Please. Now, the bottom shape is a what? Trapezoid. So, on a trapezoid, you've got to first think of the formula. You need a height. You need 2 bases that are parallel. And a 2. Okay. So, on this trapezoid, I couldn't think of the word of it. Okay. So, the base is 4 and what? 6. Okay. The height is also 6, even though it's a different 6. So 6 is the height. The two railroad tracks or parallel lines are 6 and 4. Okay, now slow down. Think about it. You've got a 70 and a 30. What do you want to do with those numbers? Subtract. So 70 minus 30 is 40 centimeters squared. Okay. It's not like, to me, this is even easier than yesterday's because the measurements are right there. There's not much guessing on what measurement. I have found this easier. So, now, number 3. Okay, number 3. The outside shape is a trapezoid. Now, what two numbers make my bases on the trapezoid? The 7 and the 9. Those are my two railroad tracks. Now, my two railroad tracks are 7 and 9. The height, or the distance between them, is 8. That's where we get that height from. Height does not have to be standing up tall. It is how far apart two parallel lines are. So, starting out, so for the trapezoid, just the trapezoid, the outside of this thing, I got 64 centimeters squared. Okay. Honestly, it kind of looks like a house. And if you were painting a house, once you think about this way, this is kind of the real world part of it. If you were painting a house, you usually don't paint the windows and you don't paint the doors because usually the door doesn't match the walls of the house. So, that's kind of what you're thinking here. We now need to take away this door and take away the window. Okay, first I'm going to find the area of the door. And it is a rectangle. Base is 1, height is 3. So I got a total of 3 centimeters for that, what I'm calling door. Yes. Now, for the window, it is another base times height. And it is 6 centimeters squared. Yes. Base times height. So, 64 is the total. Minus 3 is 61. Minus 6 is 55. I'll be honest, there's a lot of little comments, and that's why some of you are kind of lost on it. You're just kind of babbling or something. It's not that you're, listen. So start out, you've got your 64 for your trapezoid. Your door is 3, your window is 6. So you start out with 64, take away the 3, which is 61, take away the 6, which gave me 55. You need to show all that math. In case in the end you get like 54, we can figure out where you messed up. Okay, The last one I'd like to try is on the back, the first one, on number 1. Please try it for just a second. Shh, just do number 1. But listen, what is the outside shape? A rectangle. So all we need is base times height. So I got 12 times 4.
Oh, I'm looking at the other one.
Oh, okay. Are you looking at the other one?
So I forgot that the 9 was the triangle.
Ah, yes.
So I got 126. Okay, so I thought I was supposed to add them two because I just left the 9 out. So I added 9 plus 14, and then I got 13, and as my base, and I got 12 as my height, and then I added 22 and I got 12. Wait, you added them together?
Guys, I'm just going to be honest, guys. The whole test is formulas. And you gotta slow down a second. And first off, what shape is just the outside? A rectangle. So first, write down first that this is the formula. That way, because a rectangle's a base times a height. So you can only use on this one base and one height, otherwise known as the two walls. That's why I need you to kind of slow down and make sure you see the shape before you even start the thing. Okay, listen, if two numbers are like this, like one on the bottom and one on the side, you're not adding them together because they're not like in a straight line. So that is the opposite of this, or that or whatever. Yes.
Could you make the square into a triangle and trapezoid?
I think I know what you're saying. Yes. As long as in the end you get what I get. Just kidding. Like that's a trapezoid and that's a triangle. You can do that. And put them together. Add them. Yes. And what I'm going to do is subtract because I'm going to get rid of that part. Okay. Yes.
If you get one of those sides of the triangle.
It's the same as it's forcing it.
How is that is not because that side's longer than 4.
Huh? It's recording. I mean, I want questions that are good questions, but I don't need silly comments that I think I just heard. Listen, here's the key to this. You're right. You need a base, and you need a height to that triangle. You probably see the base, meaning that it is from here to here, and it is the 9. Now, every time you look at a triangle, it either needs to be to a point, or it could be if it's a 90 degree, then you'll see the little L in the corner. But basically what you want to do is kind of take your eyeballs and think, if I look over here, is there anything there written that's the measurement? No. So I'm going to go over this way. Is there anything there that's written? The 4. So that is the same as that. Now, the weird part about a lot of these drawings is that the shapes are not exactly drawn correctly. Meaning, you might have a base of, like, that doesn't look like half of that or whatever. Or maybe it looks crooked or something. You go by what the numbers are, though. Does that make sense? So even if it looks like it's a 9 by 9, if one side says it's a 10, use the number they give you. So I got a 9 for a base, a 4 as a height, so my triangle is 18. Now, in the end, I need to do 48 minus 18, which gives me 30 centimeters squared. Because we're going to take out that middle part. Now, listen. As you finish that up, listen, we were just practicing. Please put that behind notes or behind classwork homework. We're not finishing it. We're just going to leave it there. Now, what I have for tonight is a review that goes back to last week and the beginning of this week, everything we've done. Kind of nice because you are able to see everything we've done, which is nice. Okay, yeah. Back. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. I will say there's 2 things to fix before you walk out. Listen, help me out real quick. Number 1, you're going to want to mark out number 9. And there is not a number 4, that's just a mess up. But mark out number 9. And on the back, you're going to want to flip it over. And on number 12, mark that one out. It is going to be a weird triangle that won't work. The last thing is, on number 11, it is 0 and 8. It is 0 right there and 8. It is just an ink blob on accident. Okay? Now, your homework is to finish this right now. Most kids have had about 10 minutes in class, if not 15. Okay, so go for it. You're fixing number 11, 0 and 8. You're marking out number 12. And then on the front, mark out number 9. We just don't need it. That one right there with the words. Number 9. That's it. The rest should be pretty easy if you've got the formulas. You should be able to finish it right now. Okay? I will say this. Yeah, tomorrow I'm probably going to collect it. Please be careful on number 1. You got to go back and remember how to do this with the little boxes. Remember, you're still looking for a base and you're still looking for a height, but you're counting the boxes and multiplying base times height. Okay? So they're doing 1, 2, 3. See you tomorrow. There, you got it? Okay. Here's 5, 6, and 7. There was no number 4. Number 8 from last week. 10 is kind of like what we did today. And on the back, 11 is something we did Friday. Have it finished. Keep working right now. Thank you.